wanna run away. I think I'll go back to that place I stayed. Play on the server the TimeShot way. Hello people, it's Poet. We're back on TimeShot. Now, I've been kind of walking back and forth through this base for a while now. Just the last few days, kind of as I'm going back and forth doing different projects, and I'm looking at the walls, and I'm still not 100% happy with the way that the walls look inside. I'm happy with how they look outside, because they look like that, but I've never really been happy with the way that they look on the inside. So at one point I was going to do these spruce pillars to kind of dress them up, but that still doesn't look quite right in my mind. It doesn't look full. It doesn't look complete. So, in all honesty, what I probably should do is complete another wall on the inside. I mean, that's what most people would probably do. When you're building the wall, you build the first part of the wall, the walking part on top of the wall, and then you build the second part of the wall, the other side. I didn't do that. I opted to just do the one side of the wall, and because of that, we see like the building here, it's going to be cut off, and that building over there, it's going to be cut off. If I do start building a second wall, and if I go all the way over here, I think this tower is also going to kind of be in the way. Yeah, I left myself at least one block of space, and I did that on purpose, so that I could at least do the pillars or something. But unfortunately, it's going to have the same kind of issue where if I do another wall, then there definitely won't be very much space to do that. Just enough if the wall that I do is maybe inset a little bit. But either way, the biggest problem is from the smith's shop, the blacksmith area here, where it's definitely, like, it's already pressing up against the other wall. So, do I tear this all down? Do I move it? I mean, as funny as it sounds, I really wouldn't care about having to tear this all down. This took me a day to build, a day of work, which is, a few hours maybe, of just getting the materials and then coming up with a design and then putting the design down. I can spend another day. I really don't care. Is that something that I'll have to do? And that's something that I'm going to have to decide for myself when I finally figure out what I'm doing. In the meantime, I am taking down these spruce pillars because they definitely aren't really what I'm going for, so that's that. I will come up with something different, and I'm thinking more and more that I'm just going to do another wall. It'll probably kind of mirror the design somewhat, so it won't be too difficult to make. I don't know if I'll use the coal blocks, though, again, but definitely I'll do something. I do want to continue the glass, though, so that people can still look through and have that kind of 3D look to it. Anyway, I want to show you guys what I've been working on over the last few hours. Actually, it was last night. I started work at around, I don't know, maybe 11 o'clock, and I finished at around 2 a.m. So, several hours of just kind of back and forth designing. I want to just take a quick look at my cows that I've got going here. As soon as I got looting, you cows are in trouble. That's right, and I got all the wheat here growing with them. I completely forgot that I had all these cows here. All of these cows when I was looking for milk the other day. Only one person in the comments made a point of saying, like, hey, you do have cows, remember? But anyway, that's not what I was working on. This, you can already see it. I'm starting to work on a design for the entrance and exit. I started the circle around here as well. So that was my design, is just kind of a circle around the walkway where the middle of the circle extends into the middle of the walkway. Or vice versa, I guess it would be. The walkway, the end of the walkway extends into the middle of the circle. So you can see the design that I've kind of created here. And I'm pretty happy with it. I'm just kind of, I constantly do that. I walk up to the design and then I look back and forth, kind of back and forth, to make sure that I mirrored it. I started with this side first, and then I mirrored it here, And then I did the same down there, and that's kind of where, if I messed up anywhere, it's going to be down there. But I won't really be able to tell down there because my brain just doesn't work that way. I don't think that I did anything wrong because I looked at it this way. Okay, we got this little diamond shape here. And then I did a diamond shape there. Same diamond. And then this one. So it's mirrored all that way. And then from there, it was kind of easier where I just did... Oh, did I mess up already? Am I seeing it? No. Yes? No. What? Yes. It is different. I see it right now that it's different a little bit. In that I used those stone bricks up there. But down there, I used stairs. Do I want to keep that? I think I might change it actually to make it look right. Oh, and there's a cobblestone piece I forgot to remove when I was bridging out. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. I'm going to be finishing this up. I've got kind of an idea for the backdrop of it, which is why it's all hollowed out. And I guess you guys will just have to wait and see. But I've thought of a topic to discuss today, and I do believe that I've kind of touched upon it in the past, but not in any great detail. I was kind of inspired, though, today by this comment that I read, not on my channel, but on actually someone else's channel, in that they were telling people to be encouraged, have self-esteem, if you are overweight. And someone replied and kind of made their point clear that, you know what, if you have self-esteem and ignore the problems you have, then you'll never get better. You'll always be overweight, and you're only making the problem worse. So that self-esteem, this is their argument. This is literally a quote. What they said is that self-esteem is more detrimental than what people might say about you. And that's what kind of got me. Now, I'm not here to argue whether or not that's true or not. I do believe that that argument that the guy made was completely wrong. And I guess, well, I'm not here to argue it, but then again, I kind of am. And I'll kind of go over my thoughts on people who have weight issues, and what self-esteem can really mean to them, and so on, while I design, or at least place, the blocks that I need here. And to do that, I need to go and get some magenta. I'm going to do all glass, but not entirely. I'm going to do some glowstone in there too. And then I'll mirror it on the other side. Anyway, on to the topic. Now, the topic was that the person on this video that I watched was telling people, you know, feel good about yourself. And you shouldn't let what people say to you affect you. You know, love who you are. The person who commented was basically saying, if you are telling people to close your eyes to the situation, then they'll always be overweight. They'll always have some kind of a health problem. And the problem isn't solved. You're just denying the fact that you're overweight, and you will continue to be overweight, and that you are actually causing the problem. Now, to me, I disagree completely. As someone who has had weight problems all my life, I can definitely attest to the fact that it's the complete opposite. And that's the funny thing, is that it's completely the opposite. They were even going so far as to show graphs in their comments, like, here's self-esteem graphed with overweight, and you can see that people with higher self-esteem are generally overweight. And it was completely false. I mean, it was, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it that they would think that. Where is that glass? I know that I had some glass. Oh, I think I might know, actually. I think I left it down here. So anyway, to kind of show you what I mean, I can attest to it personally that I know a lot of people who have clinical depression. Call it coincidence all you like, but most of those people who have that clinical depression are bigger people. They're definitely, some of them overweight, some of them extremely overweight. And I think that it's true that if you are generally lacking self-esteem, that you will not take good care of yourself. And that if you have high self-esteem, high self-respect, that you're going to take better care of yourself in general. And now I constantly will be saying overweight, because that's what I can relate to, but the same thing happens for people of other illnesses that are man-made, someone who has yellow teeth because they smoke too much, or someone who might be too skinny. Those are similar issues, at least in my mind, where the person's general attitude can definitely affect how they take care of themselves. And what I think is really upsetting about the comment that I was reading is that the person seemed to think that, the person saying to people, you should have high self-respect, was saying, you're wrong. Don't have high self-respect. You should feel bad about the way you are. And maybe if you felt bad about the way you are, you'd take a little bit better care of yourself and you'd want to strive to look better. And you want to strive to feel better. Because if you felt better, well, then what would you have to be upset about, right? I guess. It really bothered me. It really, really did. You know what? I might use magenta stain clay. And I got some magenta dye. The rest is pink. The rest is for Fabe. I don't think I have any. I know that I have more magenta glass somewhere, but I've cached it everywhere in this world. My chests, I actually came up with a design now, you'd be happy to know, and it does involve the wall and making a new wall and stuff, for a storage area. So maybe one day I'll get kind of situated and neat and tidy, but for now I have to... Actually, no. I burned them all. I did. I actually did burn all of those fences. So I hope... I don't think he's serious, but if he was... I mean, I did clean up his prank, thankfully. Anyway, it involved a lot of fire. But no, I didn't keep any of those birch fences. I did burn them, and the rest I actually just threw out on the ground so that they weren't in my inventory, and they despawned. Because I didn't, in the foreseeable future, ever think that I would need birch fences. But anyway, where am I? Shut up! Shut up, code! Oh, I know what I could also get. Oh, look at this guy! Bad things. Bad. Kill creeper. There we go. Whoops! Uh-oh. Didn't mean to do that. Anyway. From personal experience, and I'm not just talking about the clinically depressed, and that, people who are clinically depressed tend to be overweight. That may or may not be true. I'm not clinically depressed, so I can't say that for a fact. But I can tell you for a fact that growing up, actually I wasn't very overweight while growing up, but definitely in my college years, I started to gain some weight. And I know that my brother definitely struggled with weight all of his life. And even from just his experiences, I can tell you, when people are ridiculing you or calling you names and demeaning because of the way you look, and this extends far beyond just being overweight, but any appearance, whether it's race, whether it's some kind of thing you were born with, whether it's weight, whether it's anything that might make you seem different than others. Ridicule doesn't make it better. It doesn't make you strive to feel better. Ridicule does the exact opposite. And I do believe that that's true. It might be a minority of people. You might look at the statistics and say, well, most people, demographically speaking, are not Caucasian. Most people, demographically speaking, are overweight. But it's the minority that will create a poisonous atmosphere. And that poisonous atmosphere is a big cloud of poison that chokes us out and makes us miserable. It really is like that. It's very unfortunate it's like that. Now, people say that pop culture is definitely a problem, and I agree. Pop culture, the people who are popular, the celebrities, the songwriters, the musicians, the people on TV, the models, and so on, they are a very, very, very small minority individually. I mean, they make up for what? Like less than, whoops, hold on. What is the recipe? They make up for less than a percentage point of like what, there we go, of what the world is. You know, if you added up every single celebrity and counted them, like, yes, you are popular, here, have a number. They don't even make up the population of, I don't know where, but think of a very small hick town. They probably wouldn't fill it. And yet their influence is humongous. Their influence is largely negative in that sense. Is that if they think something negatively, if something is perceived by them negatively, the majority will be affected by it. And that's a real problem. From time to time, you see someone in the minority take a stand, and their voice will be much louder than others. And thankfully, a lot of the people who are in the popular minority do have positive feelings about illness of all kinds, in that they're very supportive and never demeaning, and always think that, you know, if someone struggles with weight problems, that you shouldn't ridicule them and make them feel bad, that you should be supportive. I guess it was just kind of shocking to hear that someone actually believed, and what was even more shocking was that they were actually claiming to be writing a paper on the subject of self-esteem and its relation to weight. And I couldn't believe that their opinion was so negative, that if you have self-esteem, you are the one causing the problem, that you will be the reason that the person remains of ill health. Isn't that ridiculous? At least I think that's totally ridiculous. How could that possibly be true? Is there any truth in it? I just don't think so. Because from my experience when growing up, in college, even later half of high school, I would say, I was starting to, I went to places like McDonald's a lot, and have to admit that I indulged in eating out a lot, takeout, stuff like that, and I wasn't very active. Typical geek, sitting at my computer all day, wasn't active. Definitely, I know what the reason for my weight problem was. I have nobody to blame but myself. Was it ever denial that made me stay that way? No. If anything, it was the fact that there were those out there who chose to ridicule me, that made me not want to change, that made me think that something was wrong with me. And when I thought that there was something wrong with me, that just made the problem so much worse. Let's see here. I'm going to use the orange blocks as kind of like the indicator of where I want to place glowstone and or maybe, yeah, probably just glowstone. But the other blocks, there we go. I do believe that positive encouragement, if someone feels good about themselves, that generally they will be healthy anyway. A lot of it had to do with me going out and eating what I shouldn't have, like I said. However, a lot of it too was because I was that geeky guy who didn't have very much popularity, who felt bad about themselves. And one of the things that made me feel good was eating. If I eat more, I feel good. And a lot of it had to do with just a bad self-esteem. It seemed very, very true that the second that I got self-esteem, and I've told people this before, is that it may seem like I have all this confidence and self-respect, but I didn't always have that. I didn't. I very much lacked it for a long time. And it seems like the second that I started gaining self-respect, that my health problems, weight in general, started to become in check. I didn't need to eat to be happy, if that's what it did for me. And maybe subconsciously that's exactly what it was doing for me, and why I was eating too much. But as soon as I started gaining that self-respect, my weight problem was not even an issue. I started taking better care of myself. And I think that's also definitely part of the people who do have this clinical depression. In speaking with a few of them who do have weight problems, they've often said to me, I know that I'm overweight, and the reason I'm overweight is because I can't find that love for myself. Why should I? Why should I take care of myself? They often have this thought that, well, nobody will really like them anyway, so why should they try? It's kind of, well, it's depressing. But if you gain that I'm not saying that people with depression can help that, and that's maybe a topic for another time, but it's definitely kind of showing, and I'm not even just talking about clinical depression, let's get that out of the way too, but any kind of depression, where if you feel bad about yourself, you're not going to want to take care of yourself. There we go. Oops, actually that's a different block that I need to place there. There we go. That's unfortunately the case, it seems, is that often people don't take care of themselves, and it's because they don't feel like people will like them anyway. People won't have that respect for them anyway. And it definitely doesn't help when there's some kind of a mentality out there, I suppose, if this person thought that if you feel good about yourself, you're the negative one. Look at all this stuff. I'm going to pick it up. I think that the opposite's true. And I think that those of us who have had problems with our appearance, our weight, maybe it is racial. If you are living in a minority right now, you are part of the minority racially or something, where you are ridiculed. That's not going to make you feel like you can accomplish anything. That's not going to make you feel like, oh, well, I know that I am overweight, but, I can persevere. I can still be that singer. I can still be that musician. I can still be the guy who does YouTube videos. It doesn't make you feel that way. It makes you feel like crap. It makes you feel like you can't do it, and that you should just give up. And it's that giving up that makes the problem even worse. If you're denying that, then, well, you've been misled. You've been misinformed. What else can I say about it? Now, I do honestly believe that there is a weight problem, especially in the United States, but not just in the United States. There are many, many, many other places that have this weight problem. Denying it would be an issue, I do admit that. But I don't think that there are very many people who have this problem who are in fact denying it and saying to themselves, you know what? I blocked out those who were ridiculing me. I feel good about who I am. Therefore, I don't have a problem. And I will always have this issue. That is my choice. I don't think that that's what's happening. In fact, I think that very much people who have weight problems always live with it. They will always have that issue. And there is no denying it. There is no denial. That in fact it's just their self-esteem that they need to keep in check. I mean, I know that there are those out there who say, you know what, I know that I'm a big person, but I really don't care, and I don't care what people say. That might be true, but they, at the same time, can in no way ever convince me that they don't acknowledge they have a problem and they aren't constantly fighting and struggling with it. That just doesn't happen. Maybe that's what this person's interpretation of it was. You know, if someone says, you know what, I am a big person, but I can still hold my head up high. They could interpret that as saying, you know what, I'm a big person, and I will never have to struggle with this issue ever. You know, I don't know how they could even think about it, but that's just a thought. It is a struggle. It really is. It's something that people who are overweight, people who are struggling with other kinds of illnesses and disabilities have to struggle with. Nobody's ever denying it. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't this cool? Look at this. Look! Look back to the video for a second, those who are podcasting it. Isn't this going to be cool? And now I've placed the orange blocks behind it. Doesn't look too bad. There's a magenta one. And that's what the background is going to be. It's all going to be magenta. And it will, in turn, kind of make it pop. Now, where I'm going to put the glowstone, I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, just around the edges maybe. Oh, and inside of these circles. Like, actually, I've been putting glass there. I shouldn't, because that's not going to be glass. That's all going to be glowstone right there. I'm wasting glass by putting it there. And in there. And in there. But I'm just covering it right now. I need to go make more glass. Do I even have sand? I don't know. Might need to go hunting for sand or glass. But I think we're almost done the topic. In that, what I would suggest to people who are struggling with their appearance is to actually do the opposite of what people like that would say. Don't feel bad about yourself. Negativity should never be the encouraging factor. And I've talked about this before, you know, with parents being so strict to children and stuff. You know, when a parent is really negative and physically violent or verbally violent and demeaning, does it encourage you to try harder? No. And the same thing is true for any of these illnesses, or even not illnesses. You know what I mean. Oh, there's some glass. Oopsie. There we go. I may need to go to the desert. In fact, I think I will. Yeah, the negativity never encourages people to do better. It does the opposite, you know. It makes people go into a dark place. It makes people feel bad about themselves. And when you feel bad about yourself, are you going to really work hard on yourself? No. You know, and there are people who have illnesses that they can't help. You know, and weight is actually one of those quite often. Whereas I can say that, you know, I had a huge role in my weight problem back in the day. There are people who generally have glandular problems or problems with, well, I'm not going to get too medical, but they do have health issues, genetic issues, where weight is very, very, very hard to keep off, or likewise, it's very hard to gain. Jake Portal. Where is where is the desert? I really don't know now. I think it is towards Jake. It should be. Anyway, there are those who really can't help it. Having a low self-esteem does nothing. Wait, does Edson's portal go? No. Should be this one then. Hey! There is no portal there. Uh-oh. This one. Dave, no. Ah, here we go. I like this one. Excavation Desert looks cool. Really like it. Ugh, it's such a far tunnel. But yeah, I think what people should instead do is find that self-esteem. You know, don't listen to those who would be hateful and spiteful and ridicule you and demean you. And through your courage, through your own self-esteem and self-respect, you will naturally, it comes naturally, trust me it does, naturally you will want to take better care of yourself. You will start eating better, you'll start living better, you're going to start smelling better, you're going to live better if you feel better about yourself. If you feel crummy about yourself, then you will live a crummy life. So don't let those people out there bring you down. Do it for yourself, not for them. Do it for yourself. That self-esteem is definitely important. It looks like someone looted me for all my sand, which I think I probably told them that they could. So it kind of makes sense. Yeah, good. Good. Okay, running out to... Well, I guess this is the excavation desert. That's the dirt excavation area. And it's good to actually see that finally the dirt is spreading grass all the way up to here. Eventually, I hope that it'll get grass all the way over to here. We spend so little time in this area that it's kind of difficult for it to spread, but slowly it is. I guess what I could do, since I dug out this entire area, is start on this entire area, perhaps. Yeah, maybe. I'll do that. I see zombies on their way already, as the desert always does. And the second that I kill this guy, it'll be a relentless horde that I have to kill for the entire rest of the night. I can't see the moon or the stars, so it must still be raining. Oh, that guy didn't pay attention. Oh, he just despawned. Well, good. Maybe I won't have a relentless attack. But yeah, that's what my bad experience shows. I say bad, but maybe it's alright. I don't know. I hate seeing people feel bad about themselves. It's really troubling when I see someone saying, you know, if you feel good about yourself, then you're making the problem worse. Because that, I know the opposite is true. Feel good about yourself, and the problems you face will take care of themselves. Weight is one issue, but that's just one issue. A lot of things will be solved when you start feeling good about yourself. The unattainable is unknown. It sounds silly, and it is, but there is nothing you can't accomplish when you put your mind to it. I mean, it's so cliche, but there's a reason that it's cliche, and the reason that people say it. You know, it's true. If you do good things for yourself, good health will come naturally. Good thing for yourself isn't just physical, you know, stop eating food and you will lose weight. It's also mental. You know, feel good about yourself mentally, and physically the change will be the same. You know, the change isn't just one-sided. It isn't just a physical change. It's a mental change. And especially for those who have these issues that can't be changed physically. You know, you can't change how you looked when you were born. You can't change who you are, where you're from. You can't change sometimes the physical elements of yourself. So you might as well at least change the mental elements. Make yourself feel good about yourself. The rest comes naturally. So I think I'm going to end the episode there. Hopefully, I do hope that it helps someone. I do want to hear it in the comments, you know, encouragement to others who may have problems, especially with weight. It was, I have to admit, troubling to me in the past. I remember way back in the day, the Slender Man episode, not issue. The very, very, very first time that I made a face cam special was for my 10,000 subscribers. A long time ago now. And there were a couple comments out there, not very many thankfully, but a couple saying, wow, I can't believe you're fat. You know, and I have lost weight since then. My self-esteem has gone up since then. Big time. And, you know, like I've been saying, your self-esteem goes up and your health issues will fix themselves. It seems like that, anyway. But, you know, I can say from experience that it was tough to hear those kinds of comments. And they did nothing for my physical self. You know, I didn't see those kinds of comments and say to myself, well, I guess I better change. Well, I guess I better go on a diet tomorrow because those guys don't like the way I look. In fact, it was the opposite. You know, all the helpful and supportive comments. People saying that they loved the way that I looked. People saying that, you know, apart from looks, that I was encouraging them and supportive of them and, you know, generally positive things. Those kinds of things made me feel better about myself, take care of myself, and continue to. So, yeah, I definitely want to hear from people, you know. Be supportive to others. How do you feel when someone encourages you as opposed to how you feel when someone is negative towards you? Do you actually think, yeah, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I'm wrong in this situation. I don't think I am, but maybe I am. Maybe it's the negative that really makes you who you are. You know, the militaristic attitude where if you get yelled at, if you get all of this support in the opposite direction, you know, people saying, you're not good enough, do better, do better, do better, do better. Maybe that's the kind of encouragement you can kind of cling to. Not me, though. I can definitely say not me. And I really didn't like that comment thinking that it was all one-sided, you know. In that, well, it's only, if you're positive, then you will never make it anywhere. I disagree. If you tell someone in the military you love them, maybe they'd perform better. I don't know. I'm not just talking about drill sergeants, of course. Bad example, very bad example. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Share this video on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe if you haven't already. Do all those other awesome things people do. We'll see you next time on TimeShot. Ah, I'm on fire now. Oh, good. Lag is killing me. Anyway, see you guys. Bye-bye.